So it looks like it's really happening. This was just reported, and I know I had to make a video on this. ESPN is reporting that the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant's business partner, Rich Kleiman, one of them beak noses, man, are sorting through trade options with interested teams mainly featuring Houston, San Antonio, Minnesota, Miami, and New York. Now look, I understand the whole Kevin Durant thing. This is a top 10 player of all time. No wonder people would want to trade for him. But I made this video because I said, we cannot bring him to Minnesota, man. We can't bring Kevin Durant to Minnesota, bro. It's just simple as that. I'm not even from Minnesota, but y'all know I mess with Goatman Edwards so much. That's the future. He already is the future. The future is now. He's already proved it last year and this year. The future is now. Here's what happens. Listen, I think Houston would be great. I think he's definitely going to go to one of the teams in Texas. I think New York could be cool, but I don't think Kevin Durant would want to go to New York. He already declined going to the Knicks once. Why would he want to go back again? It makes no sense. I think he could be interested in Minnesota, but here's the problem. This is what happens with Kevin Durant, right? This is exactly what happens with Kevin Durant. Let me just read this before I get into it. So it says the Timberwolves are very intrigued, highlighted words, by the idea of trading for Kevin Durant without including Jaden McDaniels or Naz Reid in the deal. In order to make salaries work, Minnesota would need to send Julius Randle or Rudy Gobert to the Suns. Let me tell you the problem with this, because this is going to be a very bad issue. The simple fact of the matter is, Kevin Durant, as good as he is, as good as he's proven to be in the past, as good of a scorer he is, some may call him the greatest scorer of all time, he doesn't work. Especially he doesn't work when he tries to team up with his best friends. It's been proven every year. So he leaves Golden State and he goes to Brooklyn. And he goes and teams up with Kyrie and forms a huge super team. Literally, there was like no bench player on that team that you didn't know their name. They had LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Patty Mills. You knew every player on that bench. That's how you knew it was a super team. Them boys was recruiting like every known player in the league. Who remembers that? That doesn't work out. They were close to doing it one year. They almost beat Giannis in the Bucks. But then he dips and he goes to Phoenix. What happens when he goes to Phoenix? He goes and forms with his new best friend, his friend, Devin Booker. They had a relationship. Let's team up in Phoenix. 36 unbothered. These best friends. What happens to the Phoenix Suns? They turn into a pile of trash. Literally, they turn into a pile of waste. And then they recruit Bradley Beal. That makes them even worse. And why did they do this? Why did they do this? They got rid of their core. Oh, it's because Kevin Durant keeps doing this. It's an endless cycle. So now it's going to be the same thing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's what I'm advising not to do. Because we've seen this over and over and over again. Each franchise that Kevin Durant joins, they're somewhat good the first year, but then they become stagnant by the second year. They don't win anything in the first year that he's there. So then he completely trades their whole roster. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, everybody else, you're gone. Let's go and get Bradley Beal. Let's get some more pieces. And it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. Listen, I understand you want to hoop with your best friends, but now's not the time to hoop with your best friends. Goatman Edwards, if you can hear me, bruh. It is not the time to hoop with your best friends. You hooped with him in the Olympics, and we all know that Anthony Edwards looks up to Kevin Durant and looks up to and admires Kevin Durant's game. We all know that. It's no secret. But here are the facts. The Timberwolves are a better team. The Timberwolves are at their best when Anthony Edwards is the leader. When Anthony Edwards is vocalizing, when Anthony Edwards is calling out other people, when Anthony Edwards is holding people accountable and being that leader, that's when they're at their best. That's when they can beat the Nuggets. That's when they can beat Oklahoma City Thunder. I know they didn't beat them this year, but they did prove that they can beat them in a game. And Anthony Edwards himself admitted that he wasn't there. But when Anthony Edwards is 100% locked in and dedicated and focused on winning, they're at their best. That's when the Timberwolves are at their best. They proved everybody wrong this year. Everybody thought they weren't even going to make the playoffs. They look like a play-in team this year and actually led them to another Western Conference Finals for the second year in a row. If you add Kevin Durant, which is a veteran presence, which is good, but if you add him, he's already proved that he's not a good NBA leader in the locker room. He's a good friend. There's different ways of leading. Anthony Edwards is a vocal leader. Anthony Edwards holds players accountable. When you add another guy who's already established, like Kevin Durant, it changes the whole culture. Because now he's going to show up with his nonchalant BS. He's going to show up with his, he doesn't really care. He's arguing with people on Twitter. That's going to change the whole dynamic. We need the Minnesota Timberwolves to be the most competitive team in the NBA. And it's abstract. Like, you would be a fool to say or disagree with just the statement that the Minnesota Timberwolves would be a completely different team with Kevin Durant. They would be completely different. Everybody understands that. You change the whole dynamic. We need Anthony Edwards. We need Goatman Edwards as a leader and not a best friend. I don't want to see Goatman Edwards all giggling at everything that Kevin Durant does. Do that during the summer. Work out together during the summer. I'm all good with it. I'm all good. I don't want to see him turn into a fanboy. I don't want to see him be second heir to Kevin Durant and start giggling at everything that he does. You did that during the Olympics. Congratulations. Y'all are friends. Do that during the summer. Work out together during the summer. But now's not the time during the NBA. I want Goatman Edwards to win that championship, win multiple championships. He ain't getting that done with Kevin Durant, man. Especially with Kevin Durant's personality, man. I don't want Goatman Edwards to start hopping on Twitter and start getting these damn Twitter fingers like KD. I don't want Goatman Edwards to start, smoking that za and become all damn nonchalant like Kevin Durant, bro. I don't want that to happen, bro. I don't want that to happen because Kevin Durant be acting like, it ain't nothing, like wins and losses ain't nothing in the NBA. This basketball doesn't really matter. It's just, I don't like that attitude, bro. I don't like it. And I don't want it rubbing off on the GOAT. Who else would they even think or consider about? Or Rudy Gobert. First of all, I know a lot of people want to a lot of people like to get on Rudy Gobert. Let's not act like Rudy Gobert is not nice. Let's not act like Rudy Gobert was not one of the main reasons why the Minnesota Timberwolves even beat the Lakers this year, right? In that series. He had amazing games. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. No matter what you say about him, I know the narrative, but he's good at all the things. Let's not act like he wasn't one of the main pieces. So you're going to get rid of the core. You're going to get rid of this team. This is what happens. These teams move way too fast. Look at what happened with Denver. Denver didn't win the championship automatically, but they kept Murray, they kept Jokic, they kept Porter, they kept building around that group. They added Aaron Gordon like a nice little role player to that team, and they eventually went on to win. You can't break up the thing too early. And if you are going to, you can't get rid of your whole, you can't get rid of core ingredients to the team. You can't. You just went to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. And you're going to just send it back for Kevin Durant? That's no guarantee. There's no guarantee there. There's zero guarantee in Kevin Durant bringing you back to the Western Conference Finals or even bringing you to an NBA championship or finals game, whatever. There's no guarantee there. You just got to think about it logistically, bro. Because, what happens? What happens? Let's say you bring Kevin Durant. Let's say you trade for Kevin Durant, right? And you have your nice little team there, and you guys don't go to the Western Conference Finals. What do you think is going to happen the next year? Oh, so now you got worse. Now you didn't even go to the conference finals. Now you didn't even reach the conference finals. So now what's going to happen? Oh, are you guys going to trade more players in hopes of? There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse. Listen, I think the best option for Kevin Durant out of these teams right here is Houston or San Antonio. He can go over there. He can go over there. Miami, I don't think he would want to go to Miami just simply based off of the fact that it would be stagnant. There would be no actually, you know what? if I'm gonna be very honest with you, I think Miami would probably be the best option for Kevin Durant. I think Miami would probably be the best option because it would be in the Eastern Conference. And the Eastern Conference, let's just be honest, the Eastern Conference is kind of wide open right now, right? The Eastern Conference, you know, you have the Celtics, that's no guarantee. You have the Pacers, you know, who knows if they go back to the finals after this year. We know they're going to be really good next year, though. But what other teams is kind of up there? The Bucks are shaky. Let's go to the Eastern Conference actually right now, and let's do this. So you have the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are shaky this year too, because even though the Cavaliers were the 1 seed, they couldn't get the job done this year, right? The Knicks are shaky. The Celtics. So, bro, like, you got to be honest. The Pistons are going to be nice, but like, let's just be honest. If you're going to rely on the Pistons to be like the best team in the East, yeah, you got a shot. Listen, and let's just be honest with Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is going to get you to the play-ins every year. He's going to get you to the playoffs every year. You're going to be at least in the playoffs every year, Kevin Durant. In the Eastern Conference, which is way easier than the Western Conference, right? The Timberwolves were the 6th seed this year. They were almost the play-in team. So, like, this is what I'm saying. He should go to the team. He should deadass go to the Heat. Imagine Spoelstra coaching Kevin Durant alongside Bam, alongside Tyler Hero. And they can probably get some more role players, but they have a decent team now. Bro, that's like a top 5 seed at least in the East. Facts. I think Miami is dead as the best option for Kevin Durant, man.